Hello and welcome to the GrapeSEED Official Podcast. Teacher Says number 8 is our episode today, another collection of answers to a couple of questions from veteran GrapeSEED teachers around the world. Remember that these are their honest opinions and stories. What works for them may not work for you. At the very least, these stories can give you ideas on what to do or inspire your own journey of self-reflection. Today, you will hear from the usual pantheon of Aaron, Alina, Will, Bruno, and Matthew. Let's dive in. Number 1. We talk about self-reflection and continuing to grow a lot on the podcast. How specifically do you do it, even with your many years in GrapeSEED?
Listening to this podcast, of course. So how do I self-reflect and continue to grow? This might at first deviate a little bit from like GrapeSEED or just teaching in general, because I think I view growing and self-reflection not as like being a teacher. It's just something I constantly need to do. And that's just, as a person, I want to be the best version of myself. So even if I wasn't a GrapeSEED teacher, it's still something I would try to do to be the best person I can possibly be. And so every year after year, I want to be able to look back and know that I've got new skills now. I have new knowledge, new wisdom. And if I don't challenge myself and if I don't reflect on my actions, I won't be able to achieve that. So what do I actually specifically do? And listening to the podcast is one thing I actually do. It really helps me reflect on that part. Is definitely more specifically the teaching aspect of my life. But there's many other aspects of my life that I just outside of teaching, I want to grow as a person, grow with my skills. So I also try to help out with my school a lot. If there's other problems that, I don't want to say problems, but just opportunities that I can help out with, I can support, learning new skills to offer my support in these other areas. But it helps me build up as a better person. I get new skills, new insights, and that can always transfer over to my classroom. Although it's not directly related to, say, GrapeSEED teaching, having new perspectives, learning about new systems, new structures, helps me grow as a person and bring different kinds of wisdom to the classroom.
Actually, it doesn't matter for how many years you've been teaching your students. As Conrad Hall said, you're always a student, never a master, and you have to keep moving forward. I really love this quote. Almost every time after the lesson is over, I analyze how successful it was, and I think about what next time I can do even better in order to achieve a better result. And of course, the professional development section on our website is my kind of faithful friend. We assimilate new information, our level of experience may grow, but we are never done learning. And I think that mastery is just a kind of illusion. And that's why an open attitude about learning is so important.
Number 1, take videos of myself. I'm always surprised when I watch myself on video. I look at myself and I go like, did I say that? Why did I do that? So that's for me, the number 1, the best thing is taking a video of myself. Also making assessments of individual children's progress on a regular basis. So every lesson, take 2 or 3 children, pay a little bit more attention to them than usual, and then make notes at the end of the class to see how they progress. Another thing is to listen to this podcast every week. It's great, and I always learn something. And also regularly contact my trainer. Nathan is great. He always has great advice. If I send him a video of my lesson, he always points out things that I didn't notice. Thank you, Nathan.
Well, I just go with the notion that I don't know everything. So if you go with that notion, that idea that you don't know everything, then you'll be open to learning more and improving more. And, just because I've got more experience than, say, some of my other coworkers, it doesn't mean that I've actually learned from my other coworkers by watching them teach or talking to them about classes and so on and so forth. So I think it's just leaving yourself open to learning new things. Be a bit humble about it. I could toot my own horn. I have been teaching for a long time, but once you start thinking that you know everything, I imagine your lessons will start to suffer because you think you're perfect, and that's not the case. So yeah, just be open to new things and just imagine that you don't know everything. And I'm sure in that respect you'll, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. So yeah, I make mistakes all the time. So that's, and if you learn from those mistakes, then you'll become better, hopefully.
I think we've all heard the kind of trope, like there's always room for improvement and this sort of thing, right? Like, and I do think that is absolutely true, that we can all continue growing and improving even after doing this job for many years. I think like any kind of profession that has a high skill ceiling, becoming an artisan of your craft takes many years. And this is certainly true with teaching. Something that I always considered for myself when I started working was that if I wasn't also learning for myself and continuing to improve and grow as a person, then I would start to find some other kind of work. And that was definitely true for the first few jobs that I started out with when I was younger. But I've absolutely found with teaching that it's something that I love and that I'm always learning more. There's so many great teachers out there in the world and people that understand education and language learning and this kind of thing, that there's always resources that you can look into and learn more about how to be a better teacher. And it's something that I readily engage myself with.
Goodbye, my friends, goodbye. I'm sad to say goodbye. It was a good day, but now I will say goodbye, my friends, goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.